morning, everybody. Lisa Mesri here. Welcome to our Friday morning Facebook Lives. I want to thank you so much for being here. I am with Remax Top Producers. My phone number is 909-583-7844 if you need to reach me. And we are talking here with Faiqa. Thank you, Faiqa, for joining me. She is with Brighter Credit Consulting, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to talk over the do's and don'ts on how to improve your credit. Because there are a common misnomer among buyers think that their credit is so low and they're never going to be able to purchase. So these are going to be some tips to help you to be able to get you on the right track to increase your credit. Or even if your credit is good and you want to boost your credit a little bit more so that you can get a better interest rate. These are the reasons why we want to be able to have these do's and don'ts of your credit. So thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and start us off. What are some things?
Thank you for having me, Lisa. First of all, I'm going to just talk a little bit about how you said buyers think that they have bad credit. I have found actually people that when I talk to them, they think they have bad credit, but they at least have the minimum to be able to purchase a home. So the best thing to do is talk to your agent so that she can help you figure out if you really need credit or not. That's the first step. So I'm just going to kind of go over some do's and don'ts about credit. So for those that want to already have maybe good credit, but they want to improve their credit, or maybe you don't have the best credit, if you want to reach me and if you have further questions, I'm going to start with my phone number, 714-612-0538. Again, if you have any questions that we don't cover, feel free to call me. But
I'm going to stop you right there really quick. And if you have a comment during this video, feel free to put a comment in and we'll do our best to be able to answer that in between topics and stuff.
Yes. So a couple of things that I always like to say is, a lot of people ask me, well, you know, if I don't have any credit cards, is that okay? No, that's absolutely not okay. It's really important to have at least 3 credit cards. Now, if you have more, I'm not suggesting that you close any at this time. The best thing to do, again, is ask us first before you decide to do anything. If you're planning to make a purchase, and let me say this again, if you're planning to make a purchase within the next 6 months, please do not make any changes until you talk to a professional. Example, closing something, opening something, paying off something, even paying off stuff if it's an installment loan, a car loan, a personal loan, that could actually hurt your credit. The best thing to do is talk to a professional before you do anything like that. Another thing is, this is a real quick fix. If you don't have bad credit, but you don't know how to get better credit, the fastest way is just bring the usage of your credit card, just bring them down to 10%. So a lot of times, you know, we're maxing out our credit cards. A lot of you don't know, but that actually hurts your credit score. So bringing it down to 10% will give you the best score that you could be at. If you bring it down to 30, you'll still have a good credit score, but you're not going to be at your best place.
So 10%. I'm going to stop you right there. Just with going back on your first one to have the 3 open credit cards. Give some tips for those if they've been rejected for credit cards, they want to be able to build this and to help it. How can they get a credit card if they've been denied credit already?
Okay, so that's a great question. First of all, if you're denied, you always get a letter. A lot of times it's just because they're unable to verify who you are. And if they're unable to verify you, all you really have to do is call them, send a copy of your driver's license, social security card, and that'll help fix that problem. Another big reason, a couple other big reasons is, if you've been applying for so much credit and you're just applying, they'll deny you just based on that alone. The other thing is, if your income isn't sufficient, so if you're telling them that you make like $20,000 a year, but you want to get a credit card and you have a lot of other expenses, they're going to take a look at like, how are they going to pay this credit card? So income is really important also, to provide them the full information of where your income should be. The other thing is, secured cards are great. Not every bank actually will approve you, even for a secured credit card. There are a lot of banks that will. The best question to ask when you go into a bank is, if I apply for the secured credit card, am I guaranteed approval? And what could be the denying factors?
Okay, and for those that don't know what a secured credit card is, what is a secured credit card?
Secured credit cards, you go into the bank basically and you put in your own money, and then the bank will give you a card with that amount. Now here's the thing, it's very different than prepaid, because with prepaid they actually don't report to your credit report. It's really important to know that if you are applying for a secured credit card, that they report to all 3 credit agencies. There are some banks that do not, and if it's not reporting to all 3 credit agencies, probably not the best card to get. Again, you can reach out to us and I can give you some locations if you need.
Okay, great. Okay, next tip.
Some other things is, pay your bills on time. I mean, that's like, like who would have thought, pay your bill. People tell me all that, well, Faiqa, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I made it late. Well, one late can be 20 to 50 points. I mean, it could be a huge negative on your credit report, and a lot of people don't realize that. So just pay it on time. Know when your bills are due. Here's the other thing: when credit card companies send you the statement, it's a courtesy. It's still your responsibility to pay the bill, whether you got it or not. It's your responsibility. So know when your bills are due, and with our busy lives, I always tell everyone, if you can, just set up auto pay. It just makes so much sense, especially if you have the minimum coming out. It's not a big deal. And if you, for example, my husband and I would get paid on 2 different dates. So I've set it up to where I've called half of the companies and we pay them on the 1st and the other the 15th. So a lot of people don't know, but you can actually call and request a date change if you're unable to make all the payments on the 1st, for example, if let's say they're due.
And then how long if someone does have a late on their credit, how long will that affect them? How long will it stay on?
So negative information can legally stay on for 7 years, but it really hurts you, I would say, for the first 2 years. And the older that it gets, the less it affects you.
Okay.
So just to cover that, so negative information legally they can report for 7 years. All negative information, if it's a public record, it could actually stay on there for 10 years. That's why you would hire somebody like us to try to get it off sooner. Another thing is, if you talk to someone and you pay a bill, ask their name, get copies, verify the information that you because a lot of times you'll call and they say that they took the payment, but then later on you found out that there was no payment made. It's so important to get the name of the person that you spoke to that you made the payment with. Make sure you repeat back, hey, so, Jane Doe, I just made a $100 payment. Can you confirm that and give me a confirmation number? And can you put that in the notes? It's really important to keep notes when you're doing online payments, over the phone payments, because you don't have any kind of confirmation number. So later if they come back and say, hey, I never got the payment, you can say, oh, well, yes, I talked to this person on this date. It's really important to be organized.
And that's for the collections then?
Even to pay your bills.
Okay.
Even if you're paying your bill. So if you didn't get a statement, but your bill's due and you're making a payment over the phone, well, you're not getting a confirmation sometimes right away. So it's really important. The more questions you ask, the more they're going to know that you're listening. And I always say, if you can talk to a supervisor, get a supervisor on the phone. Okay? Here's some things that you don't want to do is procrastinate on paying your bills, which we talked about. Letting new collections appear. So the biggest collections that are they're actually the smallest ones, but they actually hurt. Going to the doctor and there's a copay. So if there's like a $20 copay, just pay the copay. You were at the doctor's office. Don't let it turn into a collection, because again, that can hurt you 20 to 50 points. I've seen it even more at times. So if you're gonna go, there's a bill, pay the bill. Or if you get it in the mail, pay it. Don't wait and put it aside and say, I'm going to take care of it, because that might never happen.
And remember, it's a courtesy for them to send it to you, even with the bills for the doctor's office.
That's right. Applying for too many credit cards at one time. That also, so many inquiries. So on average, when I take a look at credit reports and I have clients that maybe just went to go purchase a vehicle, they have literally had their credit ran 5 to 15 times or more sometimes. So when you're applying for something, know what you're applying for. So if you're at the car dealership and you're trying to get a vehicle, know how many times they're going to run your credit, because it's important. Each inquiry can impact you 2 to 5 points. That could be significant if now you have 15 inquiries. So applying too much, not a good idea. You're at Macy's, they offer you a 20% off, and you're like, yeah, I want it, but I'm never going to use the card again. That's probably not the best card to have then for you, because it's important when you do get a credit card to also keep the upkeep and maintenance. For example, if you don't use it for X amount of time, they could start reporting inactive to your credit report, and that could also hurt your credit.
I didn't know that.
Yes, absolutely. So when you have a credit card, you want to know how often you have to use it to keep it active and to prevent it from closing, because if they close it due to inactivity, that's more points that you just lost. Old accounts, if you have old account, don't close them. Please don't close them. That actually hurt you. That history is even worth more than some of the new accounts. So if you have to close accounts because you feel like, oh, I have too many, and you're not planning to purchase in the near future, again, call me and I can help you decide which ones are the best ones to get rid of. Don't assume that, here's another one. A lot of times I get calls from clients, oh, Faiqa, yeah, I just paid my collection, but my credit score dropped. Yeah, guess what? If you pay your collection and they do not delete it, so if it's not negotiated at the time of payment, a deletion, it can actually lower your credit score. So again, before you do anything, give us a call. Again, my number is 714-612-0538. Credit related, we're here to help.
All right. Any other tips that you want to share?
There's so many.
Okay, well, I'll ask you one then. So we have a husband and wife. The husband has good credit, and the wife doesn't have so good best credit. How can they work together to be able to increase the one spouse that doesn't have the best credit?
So does she have no credit or not best credit? So the best thing to do in that scenario would be to send me a copy of her credit report so I can see, does she have a bunch of collections? Because let's say he has good credit and we piggyback off of some of his credit and add her on as an authorized user, she still might not get the best score if she has a lot of negative accounts on her credit report. So having good credit is a combination of having little or no negative credit and then having positive credit, and the 3 revolving accounts are really important to help drive the credit score up.
Okay, and then conversely, if we have a young, fresh 18-year-old, what's a good way for an 18-year-old to kind of build some credit because they don't have any credit?
Right, so my dad did this for me. Thank you, Dad. He put me on his American Express. I think I was like 18, but that helped me get the best credit score right away. So again, if you are a parent and you want to add on your child to as an authorized user, remember it's authorized user only. Remember that verbiage, authorized user only. It's very important to know that. That way they don't have to run the credit of the other person. Make sure if you're adding them on that it reports to all 3 credit agencies. Here's the thing though, if you have ever been late, like if my dad, let's say for example, would have been late on his credit card and he would have added me, I would have been attached to that also.
So obviously, you want to have a good random record.
Yes.
To be able to build it. And can you do that then with husband and wife as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So not every credit card company will allow, but again, that's why you want to call, find out what the terms and conditions are. The most important things when I ask anyone to get added on is, first of all, try to see if they could get added on to an account that has a lot of history. I'm going to say 5 to 7 years old. Also an account that has very low usage. I would like the usage, personally I prefer 10% or lower, and make sure there's been no current lates on there, or no lates at all would be best. Then also make sure that they report to all 3 credit agencies and that you can be added as an authorized user. These are the most important things to remember if you're going to add someone as an authorized user.
Okay, and then adding conversely with regards to that, when you have I had another question. I'm trying to think what it was. We had talked the last time. Oh, okay, so the tips on being able, when you make a payment on your credit card.
Yes.
What is the best strategy to make a payment? Because we want to keep it down under 10%, you said.
Yes.
But some people, they don't want to use their credit card. We want them to use it. What are those kind of tips? Should we use it once and then pay it off right away? Because I've been in the past, and I know you said it was wrong. I charge my card at Target because I want that 5% when I use my Target card, and then I go and I make the payment right then and there, so that way there's still paying it down.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so it's different for everybody. First of all, I'm going to disclose that. If you're someone with new credit, I always recommend leaving something on there and waiting for the bill to come, so there's a bill generated to show that you have some history. I had a client that she basically used the card, paid it off, used it, paid off. There was no history, and it wasn't really helping her credit score at all. So you want to at least wait for the statement to generate if you have new credit history. But if you have established credit history, you could pay it at any time, essentially. The only thing is, like, I get a lot of clients that say, hey, Faiqa, a lot of business owner, hey, I use it for the points or I use it for the miles. If you're a business owner, if you're not even a business owner, but you have to use it for the points, then try to make additional payments. So try to do weekly payments so you could, again, keep your usage down to 10% only.
Okay, and then if you have your due date is on the 15th, is there any benefit to paying it a week before, on the due date? Obviously it is if you run it late, but if you pay it before then, is there a certain time frame if you pay it before that's more beneficial?
No, not at all. I mean, it could be for history purposes. Maybe the credit company might be looking at that and see that you're responsible paying it on time. But as far as helping your credit, as long as you pay it before time, that's what you need to do.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for all the great tips. It was great information. I'm sure we'll have her back and kind of fine-tune a little bit further and give us some more tips. But I wanted to thank you. And again, what's the best way for them to be able to reach you if they wanted to help you with your services? And I didn't mention, how long does your services take to be able to build the credit?
So it's about 12 business weeks for the full program. And again, the best number to contact me at is 714-612-0538.
And if you're thinking about wanting to buy and sell a house and you're worried about your credit, either way, I'm happy to help you. We can do a game plan, get together with Faiqa to be able to get you ready to be able to purchase your home in the next 12 weeks, or even 6 months, or even a year from now, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you every step of the way through your home buying process. And if you're thinking about selling, I'm here for you as well. My name is Lisa. Mesri with Remax Top Producers, and my direct phone number is 909-583-7844. If you found this information valuable, please make sure that you can leave a comment or you share it over with your friends that may be able to get some information from this as well. And I'll see you guys next Friday at 9 a.m. Talk to you soon. Bye.